New at 7, buzz over medicinal marijuana. Applications already presented for a stake in the burgeoning industry.
And opportunities beckon for local investors to cash in when Halcyon Hotel is redeveloped.
Airport Authority employees take industrial action as dispute with management deepens.
And General Post Office to reopen tomorrow morning following premature closure today. ABS News at 7 starts now.
The local evening news is brought to you by Nagico, local agents Bryson's Insurance.
Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us for the ABS Evening News. My name is Garfield Burford.
And I'm Sharon Miller-Tazwell. Thanks for joining us tonight. Antigua and Barbuda's Medical Cannabis Authority is about to get very busy, and applications are already before it from persons wishing to enter the potentially lucrative industry.
That's right, Sharon. Now, Solicitor General Martin Camacho says the scope of its work is quite extensive, so the board is concentrating on putting everything in place to effectively manage the emerging sector.
There's going to be a lot of work which is required by the authority. They're going to have to be registrations, they're going to have applications which will be submitted, there'll be registration, there'll need for inspections of premises, there'll need for a system for monitoring businesses. So quite a bit still has to be done to really get the authority up to its full speed.
Well, the way is now clear for persons to apply to enter the industry through the board. They will need to collect a license application from the government printer for a small fee of $10.
Indeed, Sharon. Now, some of those individuals and companies have already shown interest by making presentations to the cabinet. But according to representative of the Rastafari community, Franklin King Frankai Francis, a board is now in place which will review their license applications.
Those are two proposals that have come to the board. But the cabinet has also received a number of applications from various people, some local based and some overseas based too.
Well, the authority is responsible for regulating and controlling the licensing of the cultivation, manufacture, processing, extracting, import, export, testing, research, distribution, and sale of medicinal cannabis and cannabis for sacramental purposes. Of course, this is an evolving story. We'll continue to have a lot more on this.
Absolutely, as the authority starts to do its work and really gets into it.
Very much so. All right, in other news this evening, Antiguans and Barbudans will have the opportunity to reap financial rewards when the Halcyon Hotel is redeveloped. The government will be partnering with Canadian company Sunwing for the project, and Prime Minister the Honorable Gaston Brown says citizens will be able to invest.
We have asked them to make available between 5 and 10 acres of land within the hotel property to allow for Antiguans and Barbudans to invest in condominium units, which they will operate on behalf of the homeowners and will provide them with an annual return. Again, we think that is quite a creative way for individuals to get involved, recognizing that Sunwing is one of the largest vertically integrated tour operators within this region.
Well, the Sunwing Group is also the brand behind the redevelopment of the Grand Royal Antiguan into the Royalton Antigua. Meanwhile, staying on top of the subject of hospitality, we're going to check in with Jamie J. Roche, who was actually at Royalton Hotel earlier today. So we'll check in with that. But right now, the port redevelopment project is on track and in some cases ahead of schedule. That update this evening from Port Manager Darwin Telemac. The very latest from ABS's Alejandra Robinson.
Telemac notes the administrative building is one such area which is being done ahead of time.
We're looking at somewhere about 3.5 years to complete the whole project,
right.
But it's going to be sooner. And I would say a lot sooner.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we are predicting that by the end of the year, we won't be able to move into the building, but by the end of the year, the admin building will be completed.
Good.
Not fully in terms of being equipped,
Right.
ready to roll, but the hard construction should be done.
Telemac says the completion of the administrative building will see drastic improvements to the port's logistical operations as it will integrate both port administration and the customs department in the same space. Greater efficiency will also be achieved when the warehouse is moved from the port and placed off the quay. Another area which has been improved at the port is the interaction between vessels and border security. This can now be done electronically as a result of the recent handing over of the Maritime Single Window software at the International Maritime Organization. Telemac explains the significance of this system.
Today, every vessel that comes into Antigua has to arrive at the berth, moored or be tied up by the landsman,
Right.
and wait for the customs officers to come from Heritage Quay again. In some cases, they're brought there in advance, but they're brought down and they board the ship. That's cruise ships, cargo ships, bulk ships, all vessels that come in. And that process can take a while. As of the 8th of April, with the implementation of this system, the vessels can now go online and interface with all the stakeholders involved in providing clearance of the vessel. So the agents can see the vessel and interface to the vessel online. The vessel can see customs, they can see immigration, they can see port, they can see planned quarantine, port health.
Good.
Everyone is seen on the platform, so the vessel 3 miles out can be cleared electronically.
Wow.
Telemac says Antigua and Barbuda is the only Caribbean country with this software. Work at the port is being funded through a concessional Chinese loan of US $90 million.
Still about news as well that the Antigua and Barbuda Airport Authority was hit by industrial action today.
Yeah, staffers staged a sit-in as they intensified calls for long-awaited information from the management about a staff audit. ABS's Rakib Aparicio was there.
Workers here at the Antigua-Barbuda Airport Authority say it's high time for management to pay up. Antigua-Barbuda Workers Union General Secretary David Messiah says an audit was conducted on the employees in 2019.
We have received word that the consultant would have submitted his report to the company, and so we are asking them to basically share this with us.
Antigua-Barbuda Airport Authority CEO Stanley Smith says his team have the audit conducted in order to establish a new pay grade system. He says the new system would be beneficial to the employees.
They would enter at a certain level and they will basically move up, depending on merit. But currently we don't have that system in place.
He says currently, workers receive a basic wage, but once the new merit system is put in place, they will receive pay increases based on the work they put in. Smith told ABS the system was delayed, and he requested some additional time from the union.
We have entered into 2 meetings or 3 meetings within the last 7 days with the company, and every time they've given us new dates as to when they're going to give us this information. And at the last moment, they're saying to us that they want some more time and more time.
The union was resolute that discussions would not be allowed to proceed if temporary workers who came in to fill the void left by the industrial action were allowed to work on the premises.
I want the camera to show you all are breaking a strike. You're strike breakers. You all are strike breakers. Leave the airport. Please leave the airport. You're strike breakers.
Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Edson Joseph, says these temporary workers have since been dismissed. ABS cameras witnessed one of these workers who was reportedly temporary, hiding her face while she left the post. What began as a go-slow has transformed into a sit-in. Antigua-Barbuda Airport Authority CEO Stanley Smith says this industrial action has not affected operations here at the airport. Rakib Aparicio reporting for ABS News.
Thanks so much, Rakib. Now, the General Post Office has been given clearance to get back to regular operations and open its doors at 8 tomorrow morning.
That's right. The post office was forced to close temporarily after a power surge resulted in workers being asked to evacuate shortly before midday. Now, Postmaster General Algernon Gomes says authorities were called in to assess the building. Here's what he had to say.
When I came off, I smelled smoke, so because of health and safety reasons, I evacuated the staff, pending the total look of fireworks, fire station and public works.
Now, the Public Works Department came in later in the day and did an assessment. The Fire Department also conducted an assessment, Sharon.
And again, they gave the all clear for work to resume again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
All right, stay with us right here on the ABS Evening News because still to come.
Oh, you don't want to miss this. A fight at KFC. We'll have the latest from the police on the brawl, which could have been much worse.
Plus, police seize drugs at the airport. We'll tell you about the latest seizure and whether anyone has been arrested. These stories and more still to come. In addition, stand by for Jamie Roche with the Royalton fractional opening today. Stay with us.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Sports is a unifying force. It has no boundary. It brings together people from all walks of life.
Sports is life. It brings everyone together. Sports is what you make it to be.
Welcome back. Well, meanwhile, staying on the subject of the hospitality industries we were talking about a little bit earlier in the newscast, the Royalton Antigua opened its doors to guests today, right on schedule.
Absolutely right, Sharon. Now, the hotel had what is being called a fractional opening today, welcoming scores of guests.
Right. Well, what had been the Grand Royal Antiguan had been transformed into the Royalton brand, adding the country's room stock and boosting employment. ABS's Jamie J. Roche joins us live now in the studio with an update on that. Jamie, good evening. You were there, and it looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Good evening. Yes, I was there. And guys, as you would imagine, it was a very busy day for staff today in order to try to get everything set up. In fact, it was extremely difficult to track down General Manager Christian Langlade for an interview, as he was making sure that all the I's were dotted and the T's crossed. When he finally did track down Mr. Langlade, he says that he believes the opening was a success.
The weather was not spectacular today, so I think people are impressed with the architecture, the style of the hotel, the rooms, the comfort. So this is what saved us today. But needless to say that when you have people coming from cold Chicago and they come to the Caribbean with a rainy day, we have to make up for all this and offer great service.
He says the first guests arrived at the hotel around about 3 p.m. coming off of an American Airlines flight from the U.S. Other guests also came in on later flights from the United Kingdom and Canada. I asked him, now that he's gotten over the May 1 hurdle, what's next?
Well, get the machine to run smoothly, more training, more dedicated time to our guests, and hike up the experience to deliver a very luxurious experience.
Guys, of course, this was a fractional opening, so there are still other amenities to be added to the hotel, including everybody's favorite, the overwater bungalows, and a casino, which Mr. Langlade said today will come on stream in about 3 months. And we can also look forward to the grand opening later when the entire resort is completed.
All right, Jamie, this looks beautiful, doesn't it?
And Jamie, you got a tour as well, right? Didn't you?
Yes, I did. A tour guide, Sylvia, took us around. We saw the hotels, the restaurants, sorry, and there are about 8 restaurants open now. Of course, there's also the different restaurants. Of course, I said there were also the stores.
Yeah, I noticed the shopping. I
right.
saw that in the pictures. I was curious about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're looking at some of those pictures right now, Jamie. They were absolutely
right. So this here is the buffet, actually. Right. You do walk in. This is a restaurant right here.
Well, plenty of options. Seems like once you're at the resort, you don't want to leave.
Yes, definitely. But
I love this. This is intriguing right here,
this
Jamie.
This is the Grand Hotel, the rooms. And down there, are the greatest rooms. Of course, those are the most expensive rooms. And as soon as you come out of your room, you walk right into a pool.
That's where you would stay, Jim, when
Right?
people there.
Definitely.
That's convenience right there.
Thanks very much,
All
Jim.
right.
Brilliant work. Thanks much.
All right, so you got to check out this story. Two men traded blows at KFC on Old Parham Road. Unconfirmed reports suggest the altercation began when one gentleman was criticized for his people skills. Look at this, throwing chairs. One man even has a machete. Well, video footage shows the two assailants colliding chairs before taking the brawl to the opposite side of the room. And most notably, one of the assailants is seen wielding a cutlass, bluntly slamming the weapon into his opponent. Now, the second assailant, clothed in a black shirt, is seen retrieving what appears to be a knife on the floor before leaving the scene. Now, police spokesman Inspector Frankie Thomas says shortly after the incident, the duo was arrested. He tells ABS they suffered only minor injuries. Inspector Thomas says both men are assisting police investigations into the matter.
And unsurprisingly, it caused quite a stir in that establishment.
When you heard people screaming in there, I mean, that's one
Absolutely.
of those situations you wanted to get out. You don't want to be there.
Absolutely frightening, especially because one of the gentlemen had a machete in his hand.
Exactly.
So it could have been much worse, and we will keep across that one in terms of the police investigation into it. Another story that we're tracking now, Kenroy Joseph's murder trial, which was set to begin today, has been postponed after the defense counsel requested more time to gather evidence. Joseph is accused of killing Lucien Brody in 2016. Police originally charged Joseph with attempted murder after alleging he stabbed Brody during an altercation on the 29th of February that year. Joseph died almost 3 weeks later. The attempted murder charge was later amended to murder after an autopsy linked his death to the injuries he allegedly sustained during the altercation. Now, defense lawyers are requesting access to all medical records related to Brody's injuries before the start of the trial.
Investigations are still being carried out following the latest drug seizure at the V.C. Bird International Airport. Police officers attached to the narcotics and canine units, as well as customs officers, reportedly found the rug in a cardboard box during a drug interdiction operation on Sunday. Now, 24 vacuum-sealed packages of the drug were reportedly found in a box with a water heater. The packages weighed 20.5 pounds and arrived from Canada on board an Air Canada flight. The drug was taken to the police headquarters pending further investigations. A release from the police communication unit, Stratcom, today did not indicate there was any arrests in connection with that seizure.
May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord, may the good Lord, may the good Lord bless you.
All right, there you go. Now, Freetown native Rebecca Nathaniel is the country's latest centenarian. She celebrated the momentous occasion in the presence of family and friends today. Community Development Division Director Brenda Thomas Odlum says she's especially proud of the moment.
It's another Freetown reaching a milestone. And Miss Rebecca Nathaniel is our 8th, y'all hear me? Our 8th centenarian for Freetown.
Now, the Governor General's Deputy, Sir Claire Roberts, believes he has found the secret to old age.
I learned that a little brandy helps also. I think that's true. Most of us centenarians, we always drink a little brandy.
And he also presented her with a gift basket to commemorate the occasion. There you go. Valuable, brilliant indeed that he presented her with that gift basket. The centenarian also received a birthday card signed by the Queen of England herself, Queen Elizabeth II. Her family says this is a special occasion that they won't soon forget.
Quite the honor.
And who would?
Yeah, exactly. She looks quite regal too, doesn't she?
Indeed.
Happy birthday.
Yes, very fitting that she actually got this card signed by the Queen herself. Because
Exactly,
she looked
wearing the
regal
crown.
herself. Brilliant.
Yes. All right, well, the 10th edition of Reggae in the Park presented a musical feast at the historic Nelson's Dockyard last night. The event was not without incident, though. Technical difficulties with the generator providing power to the stage disrupted the proceedings. But fears that the night would end prematurely were eventually eased, and the show resumed, much to the delight of the patrons yearning for more. Here are some highlights.
Ragamuffin reggae beat, yeah. Dance on the street, yeah. Can't stand on your feet. 2030, we still a street. And big show, we still a team. Every big song never repeat. Oh my God, but now if you just tell me one more time, everybody sing so let me get so. I cannot hear what so let me get so. I pull out and so let me get so.
And on the 10th year, Christopher Martin and Junior Kelly performed. You know, it speaks volumes to me. And I'm honored and to be bestowed this privilege upon me and my band and my singers. It's a testament to the hard work. Whatever I'm doing a correct thing. You know what I mean? I'm doing something right. Because my music isn't falling on deaf ears. You know, it's connecting with the masses, and they continue to show me love and respect for what I'm doing. I'm just giving my all before I go to Jamaica. So at the end of the day, God forbid, but if I don't get to Jamaica, I left everything on that stage. So everybody that was in attendance, everybody that got to watch it, whichever way they got to watch it, a lot of people made videos on whatever they made. I left my all on that stage. So God forbid I don't get the opportunity to perform again. I know I gave it my all, you know what I mean? I never left nothing to chance. I do everything I'm supposed to do, and the people loved it, and I love that.
All right, well, Christopher Martin, Junior Kelly, Black Gold and LCD, Dudge the Band, DJ Jime and DJ List, and host Steve Ibis Freeland kept the crowd rocking. Looks like it was a good time.
Good evening, I'm Natalie Clark-White. Thursday morning on Antigua Barbuda Today, we focus on tourism trends with executives Colin James, Patrice Simon, and Matt Cooper on new marketing strategies, network relationships, and developments. Plus, Vernon Springer and team captains spill the beans on the balls, slow, spin, or googlies. Cool and Smooth T20 is unfolding until the finals May 11th in its 6th year. The event for family and friends to watch. Tune in Thursday on Antigua Barbuda Today.
Natalie rocks on that show. You have to tune in tomorrow, 6 o'clock.
Yes, there you go. And you were actually rocking down at the park last night, huh?
Certainly,
The park?
certainly. I thought it would have been tonight, last night and tonight, so I don't have to be here. But anyway,
No.
I'm
Jerry,
here.
You didn't miss out, seriously?
No, Sharon, I was waiting on you though.
Oh, with my lawn chair?
Yeah, with your whole chair though, Sharon. There'll be no room for that chair, Sharon.
I saw that. They have standing room only.
Certainly. Okay, but it was a good night. It was a good night.
Good.
All right. And you heard about it, so that's a good thing. All right, coming up in sport, a dramatic finish as the Lions roared to success in the Cool and Smooth T20 explosion at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium last night. I'll tell you all about that match when we come back. Also coming up in sport, hear what Brian Lara says about West Indies' chances at this summer's World Cup. Yachts will return to the high seas on Thursday after today's traditional lay day. And young female golfers are the beneficiaries of a special gift. These stories are ahead.